Hey there, team. So, we have another 1v1, and a quick one, just under 6,000 frames. I'd expect a pretty quick fight, considering we have canned, but we do have a fair portion of cav. Right, let's see what we have anyway. The Nurad Stormguard are here, lacking the general in their unit, brother to the spear to their side. The halberds, a very beefy halberd line, which is common for a 1v1, I'd say. You really want to sort of dominate the field, and halberds are good for that. Nomadic axemen, nice. Some Variag cataphracts. Nomadic light cavalry, okay, good for just nice, cheap horse archers. There. The Variag cataphracts, that's where we have the general today. And with his knights. I'm pretty sure the Variag cataphracts are knights. When I do play canned, I actually play canned as a very infantry-focused force. Then we have, yes, the Nomadic Axemen over there. Lots of Nurad footmen. Yeah, the mixed up Nurad footmen and halberd line is very tried and true. It's what I like to go for. Brotherhood of the Shadows. Some Glory Seekers. Finally getting Glory Seekers in the open field. You get to see how they perform here. And more Brotherhood of the Shadow. A double Brotherhood of the Shadow force today. Okay. Interesting. I like it. We'll see what we have against him today. He's gone up against Starling, who's playing as Misty. I love Misty, but in the open field, I worry about Misty. We've got heavy goblin spears up front. They can definitely take a real beating and ward off the cavalry, no doubt. If those nomadic light cav try to pepper away at them, they'll shrug that off for days. As will the halberds, in all honesty. Definitely the numbers and not really the quality to go toe-to-toe with the Nurad halberds, but they'll do not too bad. Some drummers just to keep everybody in line. Fearmongerers, now that's what we're talking about in terms of quality phalanx. Some Drake Broodlings, okay, cool. And some a double Warg Riders, so that's going to be pretty scary to FFA Muffins. We've also got we do actually have some stuff I missed over here, sorry about that. We have double light cav, the Variag Horse Archers, okay, they'll pack a little bit more of a punch, and also the Brotherhood of the Wain, of course. Spotted those guys, but I didn't call them out earlier. So the Wargs will have a good effect on all of those units, really, but, as always, Wargs don't like to get shot at, and they're going to be receiving a lot of that today. They're quite a nice big clunky model, and they usually lack a shield and much in the way of armor. So yeah, all these guys are lacking a shield. You really want that free hand to grab onto the warg, because it's a bit more crazy than a horse. Getting nice and close with the light cav, yeah, why not? You can speed your way away from anything here. Let's go to 0.8 speed right off the bat, I think. Variag Horse Archers opening up. Oh, Goblin Infantry popped up. We knew there'd be something anyway, so a nice horde of Goblin Infantry running on forward. Halberds are taking the brunt of this fire. That doesn't surprise me too much, yeah. Even with that sturdy armor value, they're your best target. Definitely one of the most important enemies. Here, Snagga Skirms have shown their faces too, along with some heavy Goblin Infantry. We don't have... I'm not seeing any Mountain Uruk Host floating about. Some Warg Skirmishers there. Bolg's Champions as well. Okay, this is going to be a big cavalry engagement. But both sides do have some nice swarms of infantry to take a bit of focus too. Albert's getting really close to those horse archers. Once those horse archers use up their payloads, they will just be nice and numerous cavalry units to come slamming in and out with. More effect toward the later stages of the game. Those Glory Seekers are going to have to move. But those Brotherhood of the Shadows have popped up now. They're just going to get there. Are they just going into the closest target? Oh, looks like that was a cancelled shot from FFA Muffins. No, second one though is going right into the spears. The spears will... Yeah, they're all getting back up. Snow Trolls there. Oh, Snow Trolls can hide, I guess, yeah. Trying to get all those knives thrown. Yeah, we're going to have to slow down a little bit more than this, actually. Because this is a massive swarm of wargs. Holy smokes, I quite like that. Can I make something... Just because that's such a beefy complement of wargs there. It's just quite cool to see. Awesome. Yeah, we'll try and work something out with that, probably. But yeah, they're all just setting up on the flank. Shadow's actually getting just about everything out. These ones being engaged by the Snow Trolls is a bit messy for them. FFA Muffin's just setting up his horse archers on the right flank, just so they can pour shots right down the line. That's going to be messy, but if Starling can do the damage quickly, then that's all it's going to take. I'd maybe come forward with a charge now, but this is going to be very micro-intensive. As I say, like, we're going at 0.6 speed. They're having all of this happen a lot faster than we're seeing it. But the Shadows are holding the line with their great defensive skill. The Warg Riders are going to get around the back, and that's going to be a bit of a nuisance to deal with. The Brother of the Spear running over to try and counter them. Glory Seekers, they will get massacred by a unit of Warg Riders, but it's a 102-man unit, so they'll take a minute to die. They won't get many kills doing it, though. You really want to be using that as a good charge up against a low-quality unit. Just because even though they don't have much of a charge value, there's still a horse slamming into you. Snow Trolls having some good effect here, but now that the AP from the Halberds and the Footmen has arrived, it's going to be messy for these poor orcs. And Gobbles, they've got a slight height advantage over the orcs today, but I don't think it's enough to really see any great development from. Drake Broodlings coming on forward there, but it looks like they definitely didn't bottle that charge, but I don't think it went too well for them. Oh, poor little baby dragon dropped just there as they fall back behind the wargs. Skirmishers hurling their jabs, getting their animation cycle broken there as they've been charged through by the broodlings. That's not a good thing. Oh my goodness me. Glory Seekers engaging all of these wargs. Cataphracts having to fight up against the wargs too. Losing the general is not going to be pretty for this main line, as yeah, Muffins has had to really turn around to face up against these guys. There would be no gain really to throw the nomadic cavalry into melee against these wargs. If you do have the time, grabbing these guys, maybe getting them a little bit closer could be nice. But they're having some good effect on this blob anyway. They're not really needing to get closer in order to be more accurate. Even with those troll drummers battering away, we're still seeing a lot of shaking going on the front line for the goblins. Drake Broodlings coming back now for another hit. Wargs are still juicy, but they've no, I was gonna say lost micro on them for a second, allowed them to get caught by the Brother of the Spear. Over here, the poor nomadic axemen are getting hit and devoured by the Drake Broodlings. But the halberds are sort of slamming at them from two sides. Starling's going to have to thread the needle to escape that, which he is going to be able to, but he's going to lose a baby dragon or two there, getting out. Warg skirms out of ammunition now, so just being cycle charged in and out against the left flank of the Kandish line. Stormguard coming in to provide a bit more resilience to this. The Fearmonger is not actually engaging, just being present. But the Fearmongers do provide a morale buff as well. This is the thing that I really like about Misty, and it's, you know, Troll Drummers are not always 100% necessary as Misty, because you have so many other units that do provide a morale buff. We're not seeing a General's Bodyguard anywhere, I don't believe, so. But all it's going to take is that General to drop from Misty, and, you know, we're going to be in a bit of trouble here. Especially if these nomadic light calves start causing a bit of hoopla behind our lines. Good little mass charge there. Yeah, a lot of these guys are suffering from those charges. And those Snagga are still hurling their jabs forward. Oh yeah, really. 41 for 44. So that's a pretty decent play. Well, I was about to say it's a pretty decent place for Khan to be just a little bit ahead. But, oh, that's what we were needing. We were needing a big break. 144 halberds fell from the line there. And they're trying to run right through the line. Just going to get massacred. Now those Fearmongers are going to have to take up the slack. The Snow Trolls are still doing their best. Oh, damn, the halberds got their halberds down. And we have our General right in the thick of it. I don't think he's escaping that. Surely, yeah, he's bloodied there. He's going to go down. I better actually sort of think about taking another shot. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty nice, just in case I'm not too fond of how the wargs turned out, looking through all these nice Eastern-inspired halberds, so very sort of more simple Chinese-type halberds going on, rather than the more, oh jeepers, rather than the more, perhaps I'm pretty biased in this case, but I do prefer the look of a nice sort of European-style halberd. Goblin infantry, heavy goblin infantry, they die, well, they should die standing, really, but they'll take a little bit to die because there's so many of them, and they do have a decent bit of armor on them. But all that AP from the Norad footmen and the halberds is going to blast that away, Ricky Tech, so they're really just relying on that numbers value. But right now it is just a case of who can charge harder and more often. This is why it's good to have a front line that's it's not micro-intensive. You know, a good sort of, man-at-arms mixed with a halberd. Doesn't take much micromanagement. You send it in and you know it's going to hold the line, and it's going to be simple. So that can allow you to perform these good sort of little cycle charges. Issue 4 Muffins is he's got this little uphill charge that he's got to make. And that's definitely slowing him down. Oh, that's another good break. Another good break from those spears. We've got a mass cavalry movement here. More arrows still coming in from the Nomadic Light Cav. Warg skirmishers getting around their backs. Goodness sake, there's going to be a lot of dead mounts on the field here. That's another break from the infantrymen. The fearmongers, though, they're not going to go anywhere for a little bit. They can't go one-on-one against the storm guard, though. They still outnumber them 2-1, but oh, that's a break from some more spears. Over on the left flank, yeah, an even bigger unit of spears is just broken. But to take their focus, oh, I like that. So Muffins is seen immediately. These guys are broken. Turn around, smash into the riders. Start to tear some of those guys down. It's going to mean that a lot of these spearmen get away, so they have a chance of returning to the fight. But I always think once you run away once, you're never really as much of a threat. Those Snaga skirmishers, they're going to be really cost effective. They always are. Just getting their jabs used right into the back lines here. Really cheap unit. Good, just nice source of AP and quite firing and all that. So, oh, no matter like Cav, yeah, just coming in for small charges here. Skirmishers there. Skirmishers not the same as Warg Riders, of course. They scare horses though, and they'll up against mounted archers, you don't need too much in the way to deal with them. We'll go up to maybe 0.8 at this point. I don't think there's... Oh, some guys routing off there. A lot of these spears, they should come back. 52 might come back. They'll need to. Because now that the front line for the orcs is falling apart, it's really allowing Muffins to turn around and face these charges head on. To take away their thunder and also... it's steal their thunder. Yeah, I've said that wrong in the last battle too, and said it wrong just there. But yeah, they'll turn their focus around. Fearmongers though, they're gonna go down swinging, but with the storm guard there going toe to toe with a lot of decent enough halberd units, it's gonna be a slow death, but it'll be a death. Something that could change that though are these broodlings. Oh, the broodlings wanted to blast right on through that, I'm sure. So the fact that they didn't, and they've suffered a few losses for that. Snaga skirms, trying to get point blank volleys here. Looks like something, Norad footmen are going to try and counter them, but they will probably only have 1 or 2 volleys left. So even if they just get one... They did it, but oh, that'll be them done though, as this charge reaches them. And I suspect, yeah, they've all taken out their little axes anyway. They probably didn't have too much ammo, so I think it was pretty worth it to get in there. Broodlings totally surrounded now. Fearmonger is busted up and broken. Horse archers, Variag horse archers, engaging and just chasing down the last of the Fearmongers. What do we end up with there? Pretty damn good for a 1v1. I'd say a 1v1's never really going to end up as close as a bigger battle, I find. And I think that's about as good as we can hope for. I quite enjoyed that there. I liked, you don't really get to see that, and it's definitely, it's the type of armies that I could not really handle. I always say, you give me more than 2 cavalry units, I'm kind of done. So both armies today, they really stacked out the cav, and I loved to see them counter each other like that. That was fun. No, so many dead mounts today. And that's definitely a strength. I think Misty's access to nice wargs, nice cheap wargs, is definitely something I think is overlooked at times. Oh, the general is the final man on the field here, or the final man fighting. He'll take out a few of these guys, but yeah. So let's say I think it's definitely something that Misty is kind of ignored from Misty. And so it was nice to see it there. And pretty good. Pretty damn good. A lot of micro from the guys, just sort of getting those constant rear charges against each other. Let's see what really racked up a lot of kills for Muffins. Yeah, Brother of the Wayne, we didn't actually... they were all killed. We didn't actually see them get used. It would have been a very quick, just getting stuck right in there and blasting people apart. And then evaporating. As chariots often do. Chariots are such a large units. Well, they're such a large model size that they can just take damage so easily. They will die quick. Glory Seekers there. A lot of them actually... Oh, they all got caught as prisoners. Oh, well, they're freed now. I'm sure there's some decent armor that they can make use of from some of their fallen comrades now. Nice to see them, and I like to see them in a fight, but they've actually been popping up a lot more recently. The last 3 times I've seen Khan, they've had them. Last 4 times even. I think they were brought to that Cardolan siege too. So yeah, I love them. They're nice. Maybe not the best, but they're pretty cool. Nomadic Light Cav there, actually racking up some nice kills. They could have been maybe moved a little bit closer to the fight earlier, but I don't think it would have changed too much. Variag Horse Archers, you can see the difference in their skills from the standard Nomadic Light Cav. Norad's Storm Guard, as I say, I prefer to have a foot general rather than a cavalry general, but having him mounted means you can protect him a bit better. But saying that, he did die pretty quick, didn't he? Then the Brother of the Shadows there, nice. They really took the initial brunt of damage, and they could have maybe done with getting their support earlier, but that good skill kept them alive for as long as they really could have. Brother of the Spear, of course, being used just to sort of counter the enemy wargs. Surprised by the lack of kills, arguably, but they probably were just cycle charged away. And then the Nomadic Axemen, always a nice little addition, especially when you're up against a nicely armoured enemy, as the Misty Mountains often are, as well most of their forces are. Then the Nurad Swarm. Oh, Cheapers, good stuff, footmen. Very nice from those footmen. But yep. Oh, goodness me, so many prisoners. I think it was the breaks that really messed up for Starling, but that's to be expected from Misty. And, you know, even though he really had... He had all the right tools, but it was just not enough. That's why I prefer to use Misty in a siege, where I can manage their morale a lot more meticulously than I can in a field battle, where you're always kind of somebody that's not covered in the morale blob, morale buffing blob, I guess you could say. But yeah, super duper battle. There should be another one after this, I hope. I like to put my 1v1s alongside another, so I will see you guys in that one. Hey there, team, and welcome to the Grassy Plains for a little 1v1. Isaiah was nice enough to send this one in, and he's actually got a strategy that I talk about a lot, but I've never actually attempted. He's going to be going for sort of a Horde Cardolan build. We'll rattle through, we'll let him organise a little bit, but yeah, I have liked the idea of a Horde Cardolan for a while. I love the aesthetic of the Greenway units, and but I just never really thought it was something that I could do. But we'll see how this works out for him, and it might give me some ideas. He does, of course, have the very powerful triple crossbow line in the form of the Gatekeepers and double sharpshooters. But to mix up with that, he does actually have some Greenway Garrison archers and even some Minheriath archers. Okay, actually, sorry, that's just 2 crossbow units. And then, yeah, just 2 crossbow units and 3 archers. So it's a lot of arrow fire that's going to be coming down onto either an Erebor or an Isengard color there. I'm not certain which, we'll see. Oh, he's mixing. Oh, I think that's just to get down the stakes, but those guys aren't staying there. They will move, I'm sure about that. You definitely wouldn't want to get into the way of your Gatekeepers. So how is his main line looking? He's got the Garrison Footmen on... Garrison Spearmen on either flank, but the Garrison Footmen are making up the centre. It's a nice cheap pike unit, and cheap pikes can do very, very well as long as they keep the enemy in front of them and they don't get shot at. Behind them, there are the Dunedain captains. It definitely matches in with the more militia idea, but it still pains me to see an unarmoured captain unit. Then the general is in with the Hearthguard. That's where I've always wanted him. And yeah, you will need that massive range morale buffer for the very low morale. I do kind of get away with Cardolan's lower morale because I tend to play them as a very elite faction. So it's not really something that bothers me, but if you went down this playstyle, that would be a problem for you. Then the men-at-arms there, along with some spears. He's got his mercenary crossbowmen on horseback, 1 unit on either flank, but that's all he's got for Cav. I think it could be dicey, but as I say, if he's going up against Erebor, he's not really worried too much about cavalry, and if he's up against Isengard, again, he shouldn't be too worried about cavalry. So yeah, you would probably just want that nice armor-piercing blast, and their crossbows are very high damage, those mounted crossbowmen. I've got Jasmine kind of rolling around at my shins, and she occasionally sort of bumps her teeth against my calf, like, look, hey, if you ignore me too much, I'm going to bite you. Am I going to have to heave her up? No, I think she's going to be alright. She should settle down in a minute. I had to close the window on her. Oh, wait, no, okay, no, she did jump up herself, that's fine. I had to close the window on her because I didn't really want all my neighbours listening to me just chat about Cardolan hordes and such. It would be a little bit confusing. But yeah, this is just about what I expect them to form up as. Let's see who he does have as enemy. He does have Isengard, played by Brozone. So I've never seen him before. But we've got the Dunlending clansmen out front. Nice target for those Greenway Garrison archers. Behind them, some Uruk Hai archers. Again, a very sort of low quality archer. The Bane Guard there, but that's armoured up Bane Guard. They'll shrug off a lot of damage, but the crossbows will love to fire into them. A ballista is already opening up, which is going to mean that this kind of slower moving line of Cardolan is going to have to be on the offensive. But when you're up against Isengard, you have to be ready for the enemy to bring a ballista. Naz High over there. That's going to be tricky for everybody to deal with, really. Some armoured up Dunlending clansmen. Not something you see too often, but they're just behind, probably, yeah, I think that they're just going to be on ballista watch. These clansmen out front are the real fodder, but these guys are watching out for that ballista, just in case Cardolan brought any nice lancers, as they definitely can do. And then the Uruk Hai infantry line. Now, if these guys are nice and healthy by the time they reach the Cardolan lines, that'll be messy. And then the champions of the White Hand, with a Warg Rider unit on either flank. Now, the thing that's interesting here is that Isengard is lacking their pikes today. So and all of this Bane Guard, that's a shame. You're wanting to take that Bane Guard to crack into Cardolan's heavy armor, but that's not something that Isaiah is allowed today. He is rushing on forward now. He wants to get in nice and quick. I don't know what, I think if I was that ballista, I'd probably just go for... Or those captains, maybe. Yeah, the captains are, of course, spread out, but yeah, I'd go for the Warrens or the captain, or probably the Cav, maybe even. Just really get dominance. But those Warg Riders can chase around the mercenary crossbowmen for some time. And yeah, the mercenary crossbows will just have to basically waste their ammunition on the Warg Riders. Whereas I'm sure they really want to be firing into something like the Naz High, or shooting the infantry or Bane Guard in the back during this fight. That ballista's not fired yet. Has it? Yeah, it's not open fire. What we got going on here, dude? Maybe he's just switching his targets. Ah, we've not lit this on fire here, bruh. Yeah, I mean, hey, we still are going to rack up a lot of kills as these banner carriers and a few others went down, but that needs to be lit on fire. It definitely would be so much more effective. Whenever you're fighting infantry, just light it up, or cavalry, whatever. If you're targeting a unit that isn't a wall or an artillery piece, just light it on fire. Why not? But still, we're going to be taking some losses from this, but it's not as devastating as I first imagined it would be. Everybody's just going to just be jumping on forward. We've still got this little mixed up line here. That's not something that's too pretty to see. Crossbows on the left, yeah, getting chased down by the Warg Riders. As I say, if Bruh can just have his Wargs chase away the mercenary crossbowmen and just have that be what they do for most of this game, I'm sure that's not too upsetting for him. It allows him to just micro his champions of the White Hand and, backslam a few of these lines. Now, yeah, the Dunedain captains are right in amongst this force, which is exactly where we need them. We need their morale buff to be just buffing all of these militia. I was just watching the amount of fire they're taking. It's a shame for Bruh that he's not got any Snaga skirmishers or Uruk Hai crossbows that could mince the Dunedain captains. But even with that armor up, even without that armor upgrade, sorry, they can withstand a lot of fire from something like the Uruk Hai archers. So yeah, seeing them take those volleys is not so bad. Over here, yeah, even with skirmish mode on these crossbowmen, they are going to occasionally get caught by the Warg riders. And yeah, this is definitely something that I think Bruh can be quite happy about. Because as I mentioned, yeah, these champions of the White Hand are now free to run into the back lines. If we can get a crossbow volley or two from the sharpshooters, that will, yeah, really hurt him. These unshielded but heavily armored champions of the White Hand. Let's zoom on in, see what we've got going on as the lines really clash properly now. Dunlending clansmen are just going to be slowing down the Minheriath men-at-arms. And even the, you know, Greenway Garrison spears, just, it's not a great situation for the Dunlendings to be outnumbered by the Western Kingdoms, but that is the case here. And yeah, footmen, there's no answer to those pikes. And I think Bruh really needs to get aggressive here. He needs to shunt himself into that front line, because all he's doing right now is allowing the crossbows to get shots into his main line. He seems to be pulling the archers back from the front line at this time, though. Clansmen broken there, and Clansmen probably not far from breaking on that flank too. Let's see. Oh, no, you can't do that. On spectator mode. But yeah, still chasing these guys into the corner. We might get a catch here. Unless his eye is paying attention, which he is not. Oh. Oh, he's going to slip away. A few of them will get caught in the back there, but no, I think Isaiah can be pretty happy with how that corner bump went. Oh dear, he has actually lost a few. Let's see how the other side's going. They've actually bolted off. Oh, that's such an issue, because of course they're low morale, those mercenaries. So yeah, and being right up against the edge of the map, that's a bit of a loss for him. And now that's a freed up unit of wargs that can come over and just start charging these archers in the back. That's the cat jumped off to go elsewhere now. Baneguard now colliding with this front line, and yeah, unfortunately these pikes are going to get stabbed in the side, or smashed in the side by those heavy maces a little bit. Uruk Hai infantry coming in to back up the raiders. This is where we've got a lot more of the Cardolan, I guess, elites in the form of the captains, and we're seeing this is where the Wardens of Tir and Gorthad are coming on in, so this is where there's a lot more trouble. But the Uruk Hai infantry are marching in now, and the Nazhai are getting a flank around. Now, getting a flank is great, but it's going to expose you to some shots. I think they might be okay. They might make contact before that. But yeah, those Wardens of Tir and Gorthad, as good as they are, they do not want to get attacked in the side by Nazhai. I think we have all the No. Hearthguard of Amon Sul are still in the back here. They're receiving some charges, but there's not many champions left. Yeah, probably just being targeted by the crossbows. Oh, getting tied up amongst the gatekeepers. That will not be pretty for them either, and I think that's them gone. But we should have... Those wargs are freed up, and these wargs are doing alright. Have they finished? Yeah, those wargs will be freed up too in a minute, as I suspect that these poor mercenary crossbows are not going to last. Let's go up to 0.8 a little bit, as I usually take my 1v1s a bit slower, because everything does tend to happen really quite quickly. Nazhai, yeah, really enjoying that fight there. But yeah, Bruh's just keeping he's just feeding them bit by bit. I just get him in myself, you know. And over here you can maybe get around the flank there with this unit, come in the back lines. I think he's relying a bit too much on his own archers, whereas the Uruk Hai archers are never going to be outputting the same amount of damage as these nice happy men of Cardolan will. In response, you want the Uruk Hai crossbows if you're trusting in an Isengard Isengard skirmish engagement. That ballista's done, and the ballista team's coming on forward. So we're pulling back here from Bruzone. I don't agree with that one bit. We need to be getting stuck in. How are the wargs doing? Looks like these wargers. Sorry, those wargs are just kind of hanging out. Probably still just chasing away those crossbows. I'm surprised those crossbows' morale is holding out. But the wargs are going to be coming in here, getting a back charge. Yeah, I mean, these are all spears. He is catching it, and he's moving the spears over to answer to it. Not a charge you want to take with the wargs. A very high quality unit of lancers or heavy lancers or even knights would be able to get away with a charge up against a unit like this, but a unit of wargs, no sir. Those Greenwood Garrison footmen, spears, are going to be enjoying that engagement a lot, especially if they receive a little bit of supporting fire, which it looks like they might. Oh damn, saying that, they've just lost about 50 men there, and the wargs are enjoying that. Dearie me, really rough. Still, as it's stabilized, that should go okay, but he could pull out, and that's still an effective engagement. Dearie me, I didn't think that would go that way. Some clansmen have come on back. Yeah, there's very little here, really relying on the Naz High now, but since the sort of the pike line is able to curve around a little bit, they've got the numbers to do that. They're facing up against the Naz High in quite an effective way. Infantry forming up, yeah, see, we need this infantry forward. We definitely don't want that general to die over there. The morale of the Uruk Hai is damn good, but they're orcs still, or they're orcoid. Those wargs have broken. Do we still have another unit, or did that? No, they're chasing off the crossbows. Oh, good. How are those bloody crossbowmen are really quite brave for mercenaries. A lot of loyalty for hired gun, I guess. But yeah. Gatekeepers here trying to move forward, get a little bit more accuracy. These sharpshooters already in a nice position. And rattling shots into the Uruk Hai infantry, that's not nice. Yes, they do have a shield, but you don't want them to take that crossbow fire, even from the front. It's not good for them. And yet, flanking around, just taking out his army piece by piece is the best way to get this done. We'll go up to 1x speed here, I think. The Naz High, they're one of the, they're just an exceptional unit, really, overall. So they will be enjoying this for a good bit longer, unless we can get some crossbow fire onto them. Right now, these Greenwood Garrison archers are just not really going to be outputting anywhere near enough damage. Uruk Hai infantry clashing in now. It looks like they got that clash in before the pikes were down, but now that the pikes are down, it's not going to be too good for them. Still, more and more arrow fire. You just wish this was crossbow fire. If this was, yeah, I think maybe, like, instead of the Bane Guard, had we gone for crossbows, and that was how we were going to get our armor-piercing damage in, that could have been really, really good. Because Bruh's done some good, like, he's done very well. If he had a more offensive range army, this could be going really in his favour. But the archers, the Uruk Hai archers, are not able to output anywhere near enough damage. And we're seeing them now getting hurled forward into melee, most of them out of ammo there. I think they probably only got a shot or two. They've been firing really well, so they will just hopefully provide a little bit of mass for their infantry allies. Nice shiny helmets. I actually really do. I talk a lot about helmets in this game, and the Greenway Garrison helmets are gorgeous. And it's one of the reasons that I really wish I could get just a Greenway Garrison army and nail it. I will have to do some experimentation with it and see what works for me. I don't know if I'd go. I don't know how I'd do it. I think that this is because he still did have a good few units to really pack a bit of a punch. Oh, that's a big unit to be routing, and they're next to the Wardens of Tir and Gorthad too, and I think they're still within the range. Oh, the Hearthguard are maybe a little bit too far back there, and that's probably one of the reasons. They do have like 100-meter range, but that's over. I think they need to maybe be pushed up to here, so that their morale buffer is reaching the entire line. Oh, a few of those Wardens actually with their backs to the enemy. That's not good. Well, we got this nice fresh unit. That's a very big unit for this stage in the game. And with the armor upgrade, they're not going to be there. It's no joke here. 252 Dunlanding clansmen coming slamming on in is going to be a bit unpleasant, and it might even be a bit of a morale shot for some of these guys. They have not come back. The Naz High are actually chasing them away. This is not good because the Naz High are just exposing themselves to more and more fire. If the Naz High, the Naz High want to be embedded right in the thick of a fight where the enemy can't shoot at them. That's where we want to get these guys. And Bruh, I think he's kind of pushing. I think he's focusing a bit too much on the range units. The range units have all kind of used up a lot of their ammo. I know it's always nice to shut them down, but I'd want to just get a surround on those pikes and try and eat them alive. He's kind of being betrayed by his own crossbows here, and it's slowing down these Dunlending clansmen and really stopping them from being able to get stuck in properly. This is a big break, though. Holy smokes, that's a massive break. And that's with the captains right in the thick of it. Oh, hell. That's not pretty. That is definitely not pretty at all. They should return, but that's going to mean that these gatekeepers are going to be stuck into the fight momentarily. If all they're fighting, though, are Uruk Hai archers, they can handle that, I think. Especially, do they have an armor upgrade? They do not, but, you know, they're damn good in a fight anyway. Yeah, I'd probably just take that melee engagement myself. I wouldn't want to try and run away. They'll just chase you down and pick you off in the back. You better sort of turn around at that stage, I feel. Nazhai. You know, those little maces are going to be doing damage to their high armor, the Nazhai. Even though they do rely a lot on that defensive skill. They're sort of a sword master, you know. They might have an armor piercing attack, but you know they're just heavy swordsmen. Very heavy sword masters. I think I do have an image for this fight, but let me just grab something like this, just in case I don't. And that could be good. Yeah, Bruh's kind of like charging through and then getting stuck in again. Don't know how I feel about that. The general could go down here. He's very bloodied. And he does have some Uruk Hai infantry slamming into him. What we got here? Just a few of the Nazhai. Yeah, the Nazhai have really been taken down. It looks like you tried to pull them out to try and attack something else. Again, not really something I would recommend. I think here, yeah, and he's pulling out the infantry here too. I think, you know, Bruh's had a lot of decent engagements sometimes. And when they start going badly, he tries to pull his men out. And now, there's a lot of sense to doing that, especially in a siege environment. But in something like this, in a 1v1 especially, sometimes you just got to take, like when your guys are in a fight, you just got to take it, because pulling them out is just going to free up the enemy units, and you know, it's just a domino effect at that point. I freaking love these guys' shields. Such a nice, yeah, like Dunlending clansmen with that armor upgrade just looks so cool to me. I really do like those models. Over here, yeah, the gatekeepers just mincing away at the archers. The archers just lacking any real melee strength to get through that heavy armor, and the skill, the range as well. They've sort of got that halberd range that's keeping those short blades, those short. I think they often get called scimitars for the Uruk Hai. You know, to me it's like a cleaver, but I guess you know, I don't know what the actual description is of, you know, what is a scimitar. You know, what classifies it as a scimitar. But yeah, anyway, the Menhiriath archers now being engaged. Definitely not as impressive in melee as the sharpshooters. That's the main reason that I always take the sharpshooters over the Menhiriath archers. It's not just the fact that I love crossbows. It's also just, you know, the Menhiriath archers are really not good in melee. You know, they take out that sword and shield, but they've not got the stats anywhere near close to what these sharpshooters have. Even with that armor piercing advantage that the sharpshooters have as well. So no, I don't really feel too much love for the Menhiriath archers, which is a shame. Warns of Tyr and Gorthad now just sort of tying up those clansmen so that the ranged component of Isaiah's army can continue to mince away. Looks like we've got a bit of cycle charging being attempted here by these archers. Yeah, no, it is what it is, but you're not really going to get anything too effective with that. I always think cycle charging, and yeah, he's pulling out again to try and see if he can do it. I always think cycle charging infantry is a risky thing, and I would only ever really do it with like a small elite shock infantry unit. Doesn't even have to be elite, but just a smaller unit that you can really be getting in and out and in and out quite nicely. Let's see, in my campaign for Divide and Conquer that is going on right now, I have my Dunedain bodyguard, and they're very similar to the Dunedain troll slayers of Arthedain. You know, they pull out these big axes in melee, and I've gotten a lot of use out of just cycle charging them. In the early stages when I didn't really have cavalry to rely on, I had my heavy axemen, my heavy bodyguard axemen as my cycle charging units. Now, did I miss the general dying for Isengard? It's not over there. Let's zoom this in, because we should be able to see a star. Where are you? Oh! Wait, is that the general? Ah, I see. He put his general in with some clansmen. Ah, that's so... Okay, another reason to give them an armor upgrade. And, I mean, it's fair, yeah, you can use your Naz High very freely then. I've got no issue with this. Maybe he is just sort of, you know, he's a big fan of humans. But, yeah, it's often good to put him in an elite unit. And, ooh, I think, yeah, that's him about to fall there. Taken out by the Greenway Garrison Spears. I think that makes good sense considering how many of the Greenway Garrison have fallen today. It's good that they get the honor of securing the enemy general. They don't even kill him; they'll be able to have a proper execution later, I'm sure, for that Uruk Hai Lord. And yeah, I mean, the Uruk Hai are stubborn, so they aren't going to go down. It's going to take them a little while longer to go down. Hearthguard of Amon Sul pushing in. Those archers are doing well. Yeah, I mean, the gatekeepers have killed them all, but they killed them slowly. Those archers there pulling back. Clansmen moving away. I think that, yeah, this is the only real fight, so we'll just hover over it for a minute. They're actually having some good success. And even some more infantry over there, too. So it really is coming down to just a lot of the remaining garrison units. And it was a pretty damn close fight. I always think 1v1s, it's rare to get, like, a down-to-the-wire 1v1, I find. I always think that, like, the more players you have, the closer fights end up being. I don't know why that is, but, yeah, I always think 1v1. So, I always say that I like to have fights. If you're going to send me a fight, I love it to be within, 80% for the winning side to lose 80% of their forces. When it comes to a 1v1, I'm a lot more liberal with that, just because I know that 1v1s don't often come down right to the wire. What the heck is going on here? I don't know why we've not just grabbed the Hearthguard are coming on in now, and the Gatekeepers are there. The Hearthguard will just be a bit too much to deal with for these guys, even though the Hearthguard are not, they're not impressive in melee. They're spears at the end of the day. But looks like these Uruk Hai are just being vindictive here and just trying to kill off the last few of these militia forces. Those Gatekeepers might even have, I think they've got a volley or two, so they might not even give them a final fight. They might just shoot them up. Let's see. What do I think? That was close, as I say, but I think had Bruh taken a unit or two off pikes, that could have been gorgeous, because the Uruk Hai pikes would have been very difficult for the Greenway Garrison pikes to deal with. Then also some crossbows, considering how much of an effort Bruh had to... what Bruh put into just maximizing the power of his ranged units. Oh, there were two captains, whoopsie-daisies, that explains. We were seeing captains on two sides of the battlefield, so that explains why. But yeah, had he taken crossbows and kind of done the exact same thing he did with his archers, but did it with crossbowmen, that could have been very good. Captains there. Yeah, mainly for the morale buff, I'm sure, but 270 is not a bad kill count for them. Archers there, nice. It would have been great to have got 100, but, hey, it is what it is. Minheriath archers there, yeah, you can see they're doing a fair bit better. So they are worth the money. But then we go to the sharpshooters and the gatekeepers there, beautiful stuff. Poor mercenary crossbows, not really doing too great, but up against enemy wargs, they're always going to have trouble. You really, if they were getting chased around by like a knight, that's where they shine, because it's like you don't want to chase a crossbow with a knight, because it's like, fuck, I'm getting these high damage crossbow bolts coming at me. But a nice beefy unit of wargs is like, I don't care, yeah, take it down, take down a few of my fucking wolves. I don't mind. Anyway, Greenway Garrison footmen there. Whoa, 152 kills from one of them. Very nice. And then the spears, a lot of Greenway Garrison spearmen, very good. And then, yeah, Minheriath men-at-arms, and the last crossbow unit. So, yeah, I think Bruh dealing with those crossbows was very useful for him. I'd love to have seen what would have happened, even with just the slight change of Bruh lighting up his ballista fire. I would like to see how much that would have changed. Probably, I don't think it would have won the game for him, no, but I think big crossbow, the ballista, would have racked up a good few more kills. And, yeah, anyway, thank you guys very much, and I will see you later.